Saudi blogger who angered Saudi religious authorities has been arrested on his way to New Zealand to seek asylum. A blogger for the Christian Science Monitor reports. A 23-year-old Saudi Twitter user, Hamza Kashgari, fled the country Sunday to avoid being arrested for his religious tweets, only to find himself in the hands of the Malaysian police today. It has been reported that Malaysia, an officially Islamic state, will forcibly repatriate Kashgari to Saudi Arabia. Last Saturday was the celebration of the Prophet Muhammad's birthday. Kashgari tweeted several messages. "I love many things about you and hate others, and there are many things about you I don't understand. I won't bow in front of you. I won't kiss your hand. Instead, I will shake it as an equal. And no Saudi women will go to hell because it's impossible to go there twice." After these tweets, Kashgari became the target of harassment and death threats. His name and address were posted and fled the country. As of Friday, over 14,000 people have joined a Facebook group called "The Saudi People Demand the Execution of Hamza Kashgari." A video posted to YouTube shows the Saudi Sheikh Nasser al-Almar weeping over the tweets, calling them the worst things he'd ever read. And it wasn't just religious authorities. A panel for the Daily Beast discussed political leaders getting involved as well.
The king has issued a warrant for his arrest. So it wasn't just the general sort of, online fog and the explosion, more than 30,000 sort of attacks via Twitter, including Pablo, but the government getting involved as well.
The arrest in Malaysia struck up international debate over free expression. Amnesty International's Deputy Director for the Middle East and North Africa said the organization is calling for Kashgari's release. Amnesty International considers Hamza Kashgari a prisoner of conscience since he is being detained in Malaysia for peacefully exercising his right to freedom of expression. Kashgari claims his statements were not in vain and were a step toward freedom of speech, a basic human right. The Twitter account has since been deleted. For Newsy, I'm Anna.
Rebecca Schaefer, a strategic caseworker for Fair Trials International, has worked on similar sort of cases before. Good to have you on the programme. What is the situation at the moment? Have Saudi Arabia asked for him to be extradited from Malaysia?
It appears so. We understood that Malaysia had made statements that they had received a request through Interpol to make the arrest, although I understand now Interpol has confirmed that they didn't have anything to do with it, which is a relief, because it would have been a major violation of Interpol's constitution if they had anything to do with this sort of arrest. Unfortunately, we see too often that Interpol does release red notices that are abusive prosecutions from persecutory countries.
So what's going to happen to Kashgari now? What are you going to do to try and help him?
Well, I understand that he should be seen not as a fugitive. Malaysia should be seeing him not as a fugitive, as somebody to be arrested on behalf of Saudi Arabia, but rather as an asylum seeker who should be protected from return to Saudi Arabia. And I think the entire international community will be calling on Malaysia to do so.
And in that case, where does the law stand?
Well, Malaysia, as far as I understand, doesn't have an extradition treaty with Saudi Arabia, but they do have obligations under international law to protect people who are being persecuted for religious or political reasons. Instead, they're treating this journalist as a fugitive just because they received a request either from Interpol or from Saudi Arabia. It's not clear who.
And presumably you're trying to clear all this up, as are other human rights groups, with the Malaysian authorities. What do you know of the circumstances in which Kashgari is being held at the moment?
Well, it's difficult to know. We don't have any of that sort of information yet. All we know are these sort of statements by Malaysia that they received a request from Interpol to do the arrest. Interpol saying they didn't make the request, so Interpol needs to intervene and clear things up with Malaysia as soon as possible.
Well, do keep us up to date, Rebecca. Thank you very much indeed. That's Rebecca Schaefer talking to us from London.
لا أستطيع أن ألقي درس اليوم. كيف ألقي درس اليوم والله ورسوله صدقني علاني. والله إنني أخشى أن تحل بنا عقوبة عاجلة بما نراه من التساهل بحق الله في جناب الله وجناب رسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم. وكما قال ابن العربي هذا القول يناقشون بالحجة والحجة قال هذا قول بارد لا تسكره إلا حرارة السيف. هكذا قال ابن العربي قديما في أمثال هؤلاء الملحدين. البرقيات خادم الحرمين وولي عهد للهيئات والمفتي العام لمجلس القضاء الأعلى للمحكمة العليا قبل أن يحل بنا العقاب، وهي ضمانة لكم، لأنكم إذا أنكرتم وقمتم بالواجب فاطمئنوا بحماية الله لكم، وخاطبوا ولي العهد وفقهم الله لكل خير أن يعاقبوا هؤلاء وأن يحيلوهم من المحاكم الشرعية التي تستخدم فيهم الحكم الشرعي. معروف أن ردة أن نقول تنازع في بيان الذات الصلاة قبل أن يحاسب إليكم بكلمات باردة لا تنفعهم حتى تنفعوا القضاء وأن تقوموا بالقضاء. أما بينه وبين الله فنحن نتحدث في ذلك. حينما ذكروا أن من سب الله وسب رسوله يجب أن يقام عليه الحد.
Standing here today before the Embassy of Saudi Arabia in Canada. I greet you all with the words used by our Prophet Muhammad, Assalamu alaikum. It means may there be peace on all of you. Peace, that's what we are taught as Muslims from the time we are children to greet one another. And mercy, we're reminded of it at the start of almost every chapter or surah of the Holy Quran, where it begins, in the name of God, the kind, the merciful. But where is peace and mercy in Arabia, where 23-year-olds are arrested for questioning the Prophet and then charged with apostasy? Where one named Hamza may be killed for his poetry on Twitter. Gone. Peace and mercy have left Arabia, along with the 1400-year-old Islamic traditions of ijtihad, reasoning, and iqliyah, debate. I don't know Hamza Kashgari, but I remember being 23. When I was 23, I drew a hooded white figure on posters that advertised a special lecture at my university here in Canada. It was delivered by a leader who was starting a new federal political party. I had read that leader had ties to racist groups in Alberta. I drew on the posters wherever I found them. If I had been caught, would I have been silenced? Will I be silenced today for my confession? Hopefully not, because I live in a place and an era where freedom of expression remain my right, at least for today. And I say this because we must do all we can to protect this freedom here in Canada and all over the world. We must protect it, even if it means what we hear, we hate. If people disagree with us and make us angry, we must still protect it. Why? Because it's this freedom, so precious and fragile, that is the key to all our other freedoms, including freedom of conscience and freedom of religion. Today that freedom, only in places where it's found, lets our scholars rediscover Islam and uncover interpretations and translations of our scriptures, where women are free, religious and sexual minorities are respected, dissent is welcome, and where the greatest jihad, according to the Prophet Muhammad, is to speak the truth to a tyrant. And the greatest tyrants facing our world today are those who steal our freedom, imprisoning not always simply our bodies, but sometimes only our minds. It includes leaders who twist religion to hide behind atrocities, and leaders who turn a blind eye to those atrocities to do business. To them, it doesn't matter how many people suffer, how many wars are fought, how many young people die. To them, what matters is that people stay silent and afraid, so power remains held in the same hands. Is this Islam? No. To the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, we say our Prophet Muhammad, whom you have made it a crime to insult, if he was alive today, would be sickened by the tyranny you impose on your people, falsely in the name of what you call Islam. And we pray that you find a drop of mercy in your hearts to pardon Hamza Kashgari, remembering that in Islam, taking one life is no different than murdering all of humanity. To Hamza's family and friends, we say don't lose hope and be proud that among you is a brave young man who speaks up for justice. He has questioned the society in which he lives. For his convictions, he has allowed himself to become the subject of ridicule and ostracized and possibly killed. What he has done is similar to another young man who lived in your country 1400 years ago and went on to lead our ummah. To Hamza we say, we understand and we will not forget you. Please, everyone here, thank you for coming. Please spread our message and share with your friends. The world is small. We can make a difference. Salaam alaikum.